Hello, y'all. Today is Friday, April 24th, 2020. Yesterday I got the date wrong. And yesterday was the 23rd, so I'm sorry that I accidentally said the 24th in my videos. Wow, the moment I pressed play, I just had caught an intense headache exactly right here. It's like, especially when I raise my eyebrows like this. This didn't happen until I just started this video a little over 30 seconds ago. So, it's like I was able to get over 6 hours of sleep last night. Maybe it was over 6 hours of sleep. So it's like, yeah, the moment she turned in the rental car, yeah, now I'm finally getting better sleep. That happened when the second round of time where I didn't get to sleep for 18 days and I was trying a cab driver job for the first time and I didn't get to sleep for 18 days. And then my sister and her boyfriend, that was the first time, they yelled at me and condemned me very heavily and forced me to turn back in the car and quit the cab job. And then after that was when the day I turned in the cab, was when I finally was able to get good sleep for the first time in 18 days. And how the hell you end up going 18 days straight with not even 5 seconds of sleep? But then you end up having these 2 or 3 second micro sleeps that they say is very dangerous. I didn't know then that this was part of my targeting. I thought it was just my family or neighbors just personally doing some kind of witchcraft on me, and I knew it had something to do with preventing me from go driving. Because, for all you people who want to talk about this bullshit or foolishness or vanity or whatever for me wanting to drive, how about you think about the foolish or vain things you think about every day? Because when this new world order happens, y'all gonna be mad because y'all can't drive too. So y'all shut the fuck up. So it's like people not wanting me to drive. It all started in foster care. And me being hindered from driving, that is treating me like a punished child. If I'm wrong for thinking about driving, but then when you think about driving, every time you get in your car, every time you put gas in your car, every time you pay your car insurance, every time if you sit and watch TV, every time, because they got so many vehicle commercials on TV, always got these cars advertised everywhere. But I'm supposed to be in this form of transportation prison where I'm, sick and tired of when I travel, tired of taking a Greyhound bus, just about on a daily basis like normal life. I have to take the transit bus, and it's like, and then being punished with no freedom or rights, It's like forcing me to take the bus and rent an apartment. That's more enslavement. You know, couldn't have my own freedom to own my house. I couldn't have, but then again, we all in this boat though, unless you're the rich, proper folks. You know, and I heard that people say that if you pay property tax, then you really don't own your vehicle or your house or whatever property anyway. If you have to pay property tax, then what you think is yours, what we think is ours, ends up not being ours. You know, so I know the Bible says you come into this world with nothing and then you leave with nothing. Excuse me. I mean, I understand that. I know. But it seems like the only way you can physically own something is if you sold your soul to the devil, which I don't want to do, you know. And so, I mean, I don't know if celebrities have to pay property taxes, but I don't hear about white people. I only hear about the black celebrities who get their homes foreclosed on and stuff. I guess once they speak out against the elite or resist or something like that, then they get their house foreclosed on or whatever. But it seemed like, I mean, the person, I think he calls himself Black Child or something, or if not him, then it was the guy similar to The Voice who did the Blood Sacrifice for Fame. They have at least 3 of them that sound similar, and they said that that these you know, celebrities don't really own anything, and that they have to have a black card to purchase everything. They're not allowed to have cash, and everything that they buy, they have to use a black card, and everything is already, they're being watched, you know, like, so, but then the same person did another video saying that same person did another video saying that if you pay property tax on a vehicle, then that means the government can come take it whenever the hell they want. You know, I don't know how the government get to own everything we have. Like, they have the so-called right to own our car, our house, our business, whether big or small. They own. I mean, that's narcissistic right there, that you claim ownership of things that don't belong to you. You know, just like the foster mom, when I had my Hyundai Elantra car, she claimed my car to be hers just because it was in her driveway. And just because I was still living with her, all of my possessions belonged to her, even if I paid for it with money I worked for. When I was working at Popeyes my senior year in high school, and when I turned 18 and got my Social Security checks and stuff, she made sure she confiscate the big check and take the big check. But she was taking all my checks. The kids at school, when I was in my senior year in high school, they were outraged when I told them about how the foster mom was taking all my checks and how we had to hand over our money. You know, I mean, my twin sister, they allowed her to get her job before me, and she got hired instantly, and so but then she gave her first work paycheck to a girl that she sexually wanted. So that's the reason behind why the foster mom started taking our checks, you know. And I had to suffer for what she did. But then at the same time, they still let her work while they bullied me and the foster mom. Before I even started working, the foster mom and her son-in-law, Greedy Dykes Brian, that's her daughter, Hellface Shelley's husband. Well, I call it fag wife, Brian. Try to bully, harass, and lecture me, telling me that I'll get fired the first day and nobody's going to hire me and stuff like that. And the foster mom must have told those people something, because those people it seemed like I was a 17-year-old child, didn't know it then, but had to face the idea of what nobody wanting to hire me while my twin sister can get a job like that. And so that I heard the foster mama snuck and let my twin sister get her license and drive behind my back when we were still 17. And then my twin sister keep lying about it. And by the time we were 19, I mean, she did everything before me, and I'm the older twin. But they keep glorifying her, saying she has more sense than me despite her being gay. You know, they allow her to have her car and drive. And she can proudly say that she's been driving for years. Me, it's like, why do I have to have these big gaps in driving or these prevention from driving? I can't even have my own car or nothing like that. So it's like it all started from foster care, me wanting to drive so bad. And I mean, well, that girl who hiked up the situation that happened, that I believe that caused me to be gang stalked. Well, she was the first person I saw. She was driving at 14 years old. And I heard that she was 11 years old and would drive out of town alone and by herself, and was able to do grown things, adult things at a young age, you know. Let an 11-year-old child be driving. I wonder how the hell she even smart. Was she even smart enough to even drive on the interstate with no adult supervision at 11 years old? You know. But you know, ever since then, that came to like as if I've been cursed to never be able to drive again. You know, or it's extremely hard and extremely difficult for me to try to even just make up the money to get my own car. I mean, there are targeted individuals who suggest that I get my own van to live in. This ain't working out, you know, or RV or something, and I don't have enough supporters to help me out, you know, and I set aside $400 of that stimulus check that I would like to get the ball rolling, and then I'm getting nervous and scared because this driverless cars being rolled out, you know. So I mean, it's like even with the when I was still in foster care, and then after I turned 18, random strangers would talk about, like, bully, harass, and lecture me, like, and laugh at me and say that they don't trust me to drive, or how I don't have the business or the mentality I have no business driving. I don't have the mindset or the mentality to drive. The foster mom used to tell me that. So how the hell complete strangers, and this was back in 2000, 2001, complete strangers walk up to me and say, well, I wouldn't trust you to drive, ha ha, and then they fall out laughing even more when I get frustrated and start crying. You know, and then people at the fake called Bible class, you know, go driving at 12 and 13 years old in front of my face, you know, and I'm 17, and other 17-year-olds driving, everybody else driving. People like, oh, because you drive, like, because everybody else drive, then you have no business driving. But then you tell me I need to conform to the norms of society. You know, so there was something else I wanted to say, but it slipped my mind. You know, like, how the hell that used to happen years ago? People who know nothing about me. And then the foster mom used to tell me only mature people with sense drive, and that I'm illogical, incoherent, and irrational, and I'm irresponsible and immature. She was telling me that long before I started to drive. And then she acted like she freaked out when she found out that I'm just about as good of a driver as her. I guess me studying her for so many years. And everybody tell me that my driving style, that I drive just like her. Well, that's been many years ago. So, well, I gotta end this video. Bye.